If you're in fall decorating mode, even though I'm sharing a lot of DIY Christmas ornament tutorials, this one's for you. These beautiful beaded leaves look cute in a garland or a wreath, or just let them sparkle in a window. You'll need 16 gauge wire, 24 gauge wire, a mix of beads. This is a great way to use up leftovers or cut up old jewelry. And then you'll need needle nose pliers. So I take a piece of the 16 gauge wire and I shape it with my hands to create the form of the leaf. You'll see that I've kind of made a loop here, and then I'm taking the tail end and I'm wrapping it around. And then I'm going to bring that tail end over across the loop lengthwise to the opposite end. I use my needle nose pliers to shape this end into a little bit of a point so that it looks more like a leaf. And then once I've created that point, I'm going to wrap the wire around this end, securing it as well. This wire creates that center vein of the leaf. We're going to be wrapping the beads around the outer frame of the leaf as well as this center vein. So it's important to take the time and make sure that this is nice and secure. You can see that mostly I'm using my hands to shape this, but I do find that it's handy to use the pliers to get it exactly where I want it lined up at the point of the leaf. It's definitely a soft enough wire that you can use your hands to shape it, but the pliers really help. Once I've wrapped it nice and securely, I just trim the excess, and then I don't want any points of the wire end sticking out, so I use my pliers just to sort of flatten and tighten that loop. And then at the other end of the frame, I trim the excess wire and I use my pliers to create a little curlicue shape. Make sure to leave a little opening in the center because then this is the perfect way to hang the leaf. And this is how I make the frame of the leaf, and you could use the same wire to create different shapes. In another video, I've shown you how I did crescent moons. Now it's time to add the beads. I start by wrapping the 24 gauge wire around the outer frame, and then I slide on a bead and I wrap it around that middle vein that we created. Then I slide on another bead and repeat at the other end. So here I am further along in the project. I've strung on a series of beads and I'm wrapping it around the middle to secure it. The number of beads that you need will change as you work along the shape of the leaf and it gets narrower and wider. When I reach the ends of the frame, I wrap it around twice and then bring the wire back in the opposite direction, and I'm repeating this process all the way down the leaf. At the very end, I just wrapped the wire a few times to secure it, and then this is the finished beaded leaf. I made them in a few different colors, and I said this was for fall, but I did technically make these for my mom's Midsummer Night's Dream Christmas tree theme. They looked really magical alongside the beaded dragonflies, beaded spiders, and beaded crescent moons that I made for her tree. Let me know how you would use these leaves in the comments.